Yo, I-geon fumbles bad. As soon as he was back in a normal light, he just shoved his foot so far up his mouth and refused to take it out. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I'm like, you're on a date with this girl and all you're talking about is Hyun. When you're supposed to be interacting with this girl, you're interacting with Hyun. Like, it was baffling. Like, it's Jay. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new around here, welcome back. Hey y'all, how you guys doing today? I hope you're doing great because I know that I am. Now, before we get into today's video, I just want to start by showing off the nails. I did them yesterday. I had to do a Valentine's Day set, though I know by the time you guys see this, it's probably after Valentine's Day, but it doesn't matter. I still want to show them. This was my first time doing square. I wanted to try something new, but I feel like they came out really cute. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I know that's not why you guys are here. By the title of the video, you guys already know what we're getting into today. We're continuing our discussion on singles Inferno. Now, y'all, if you haven't seen my previous commentary, my previous discussions on everything that has happened leading up to this moment, I don't even know why you're here. Pause this video, press the iCards right up here, and watch my playlist so that you can be caught up with the rest of us, because I will not be recapping for you. But for those of you who are already caught up, don't worry, girl, I got you. So I'm gonna cut my rambling here, and before we start, don't forget to grab a snack and a drink, and without further ado, let's dive right on into the discussion. All right, you guys already know the drill by now. I got my notes. Let's get into yapping, okay? So we start off the episode with Mina and Seung-il. We're in a completely different location than where we left off last time, right? They're being all weird and awkward with each other. They're looking at each other, laughing, smiling, all this other stuff. He's like, he can't even make eye contact with her because he's like, I'm feeling real shy right now. And she's like, boy, you playing. Stop. They begin their conversation with Mina asking him how he felt about his paradise date, like if his feelings have changed, anything like that. And he's basically like, girl, you got nothing to worry about. I still like you. I still want you. You're the person I'm most curious about. All this other stuff. And Mina, she's eating it up. She's like, ooh, okay, this is what I want to see. Oh, right? So then she's like, you know, I missed you or whatever. And she said it like, I missed you. And he gets all giddy and smiley. He got this like look whenever she flirts with him. He makes like the same like expression, like he can't believe she's flirting. I feel like you would know what I'm talking about if you watch it, right? He says, I miss you back. And they're both just in their little awkward, weird bubble. And as all of this is going on, I want you to know they're playing like this slow romantic music, trying to give them this slow burn friends to lovers edit. And I just, I wasn't falling for it. I don't know, they just don't feel genuine to me. Like, I always knew that he liked her, but I still can't believe that she actually likes him, like for real. There's a part of me that firmly believes if Subin would have stayed with her, like she would have went full throttle on that. Like, I don't think Seung-il would have been a contender if Subin actually wanted her. So I feel like for that reason, it's just her affection towards Seung-il now just feels disingenuous. But that's just me though. I could be wrong. I don't know this girl, so who am I to say how she's feeling? You know what I mean? He basically tells her that he's only ever had eyes for her, like since the very beginning. And then they do like this whole flashback sequence where it shows like his subtle interaction with her. They show like for each competition, each like quest, each challenge, whatever each mission they've had, he's always written her name down. Like I said, they were getting this slow burn friends to lovers edit, so they're showing like all their conversations that they've had where he was like, we're friends for now, but you never know what might happen in the future, and they try to like romanticize it. It cuts back to Mina and she's basically like, I know I've been all over the place with all of my choices and stuff like that, but if I had to choose one person, it would be you. And their segment cuts there. But the funny thing is, right after they finish their conversation, right, it cuts to the panelists, and the panelists are so shady, like they can't hide how they feel, right? So it cuts to Dex, and Dex, he's trying to sit, he's like, oh, you know, Seung-il is so romantic, you know, him waiting for her, like he's this, that, the third, whatever. As he's in the middle of lying, he starts to choke, and I'm just like, bro. They realize that they've been so mean to Mina throughout the show. So now whenever they talk about her, like they try to keep it positive or they try to be optimistic about stuff. Him like coughing in the middle of that and then the rest of them looking at him laughing, I was just like, yo, y'all are not slick. But anyways, back to the islanders. We cut to Minji. Minji's like walking around, she's like lurking around Seung-il. She spots him having a conversation with Hyun-woo, right? And Hyun-woo, he picks up on the vibe that the two of them want to talk, so he gets up and he leaves. He's like, I'll give y'all some space. So Minji, she takes a seat. She's sitting there. They start chatting about where she stands, because if you remember, she just got back from her paradise date with Subin, right? Now at this point, you got to keep in mind, both the girls that Seung-il is going for, they've both expressed interest in Subin. So I know from his perspective, he's like, damn, what does Subin have that I don't have? You know what I mean? Minji tells him that she really enjoyed her time with Subin. Like she was like, as she was at paradise, like she was having fun. Like she really thoroughly enjoyed the experience. However, once they got back and she saw the men doing their challenge and stuff like that, she realized that her eyes were honed in on Seung-il. She was very much worried about him. Like she couldn't pry her attention away from him. And that was the moment that let her realize that he's actually the one that she wants the most. Seung-il was happy about it. After that, he started like cracking like dumb jokes about how the game didn't go as he planned and how he really wanted to win it so that he could drag Minji back to paradise. All this other stuff. Like they're having like a cute interaction there. They're back to how they were pre-Mina, pre-Subin. It's like they both came to a realization within themselves and they're content with where they both are romantically. But the only thing is, when it comes to Minji and Seung-il, I feel like it's very hard to gauge my real feelings on the two of them, because like I told y'all before, I started the show for them, so I was automatically biased to them. But as the show kept progressing, I felt like they just weren't hitting as much for me. But then seeing them jump back into being like jokey and playful like they were pre-Mina, pre-Subin, I just felt weird. Like I was like, damn, I can't tell if I actually like them or not. But I feel like no matter what, I'm just biased to whoever Minji likes because I like Minji. I like whoever makes her happy. You know what I mean? And for the moment that they're in with the show, Seung-il is the person that makes her happy. So because of that, I want to support it. But deep down, I doubt his actual feelings for her. There's a part of me that high-key feels like he settled for her, but then there's a part of me that feels like he could grow to actually care for her. And that's what makes it very conflicting for me. But then again, I also have to keep in mind that, like I said before, I don't know these people, so I can't get too worked up on trying to figure out how they feel, because at the end of the day, I won't know. I would just have to wait for them to say it. But yeah, that's my feeling on those two as of now. Next, we cut to Joo-hyun and Hyun-jae in their hotel room. If you remember last time, he was one of the dudes who won the challenge, and his reward was to take the girl of his choice to paradise. It was no shocker that he took Joo-hyun. Like, that was to be expected, right? But the thing is, as soon as they cut to them, you can already tell that the vibe is just off. He's sitting on the bed, like it looks like he's drawing or writing or doodling, whatever he's doing, and she's sitting far across the room by the window just holding a pillow, and they're sitting in silence, right? Automatically I was like, she don't like him. She likes Jae-jin, she don't want Hyun-jae, and she just don't know how to let him down, right? So he's sitting there, he's basically letting her know that he's also picking up on the weird vibe shift between the two of them. He's like, I feel like I forced you to come with me, like you don't want to be here. So I was like, ooh, okay, where is this gonna go? She's sitting there and she's like, well, you won the challenge, so it's up to you who you bring, but we did previously have a conversation about my feelings post paradise. And I was like, wait, y'all spoke? So then it cuts to the scene where they're still in Inferno. She's sitting there, she's talking to him, and she's like, I want to feel at ease with a person, but I still want them to be able to give me butterflies. And she was like, the reason why she likes Jae-jin is because she automatically felt at ease with him, but he still gives her that like playful romantic vibe that she's seeking. So when I seen that, I'm like, she already told you how she felt and you still won that challenge and you still took her to paradise? You did that to yourself at this point. Like, before, she was still giving him that like vague ring around. He's teeter-tottering, I'm not too sure. Was she always leaning towards Jae-jin? Yes, but it was still a toss-up, kind of. But I'm like, oh, for her to straight up tell you I like Jae-jin and you're like, I'm finna take you to paradise anyway. I was like, Hyun-jae, you played yourself. You played yourself. So while she was there in paradise, she really drew the line in the sand and she let him know. She's like, I think at this point I've already made my decision. And he's sitting on the bed and he looks dejected. He's like, oh, so you made your decision. Okay. Nods his head. And they cut the scene there. And it's just like, as much as it breaks my heart to see Hyun-jae not be chosen, it's just, it was too obvious. Like, her interest in Jae-jin was too obvious. Their chemistry, as much as I wanted to deny it, their chemistry was also too obvious. They're one of the few people in the group that I'm like, y'all make a lot of sense and I can see you guys working outside of Inferno. So it cuts to Minji and Subin. They're outside, they're having their chat. She's basically like, hey, so if you would have been one of the guys to win the challenge, who do you think you would have took to paradise? And he sits there, he's thinking about it for a little bit. I would have took Heesun, right? So she's like, oh, so you know how you're feeling, like, you know where you're set. And he's like, yeah, she's the one that I she is the one that I ooh honey, you know what I mean? And she's basically like, you know what, I feel the exact same way, like, I'm happy with my choice with Seung-il. And they're both basically like, their connection wasn't anything serious, we like the people we were already with. But here's where things start to get messy, right? So you cut to them dining, they're eating whatever they're eating, right? And it's Minji and Seung-il at the head of the table. So to Minji's right, you see Subin, and to Seung-il's left, you see Heesun, right? And Seung-il, unprovoked, he looks at Minji. He goes, can I tell Heesun about that thing? She doesn't know yet, right? And Minji's like, what? He was like, she doesn't know that you two slept in the same bed, right? He said, she's like, huh? Minji's like, no. And Subin, he's just awkward, he's silent, like, he's not saying nothing. Minji's like, no. She's like, no, don't say nothing. It's not, no. But my thing is, how are you gonna tell him not to say nothing? And he already said it as though he was talking in a loudspeaker. Like, he goes, can I tell her about that thing? What? Can I tell her that y'all slept in the same bed? Bro, you already told her. You're being messy for no reason, right? So Subin, he gets up. He's like, oh, I need to go grab whatever he says he needs to grab, right? And Seung-il, his sly, sneaky self, he looks at Minji and he goes, oh, Minji, can you get me a spoon? She gets up, she goes to get the spoon. As soon as they leave, Heesun turns to Seung-il and she's like, what did you mean by what you said earlier? Like, what were you talking about? He was like, don't tell nobody, but the two of them, when they were in paradise, they slept in the same bed. Why would you tell? Why? Like, why? Like, what was the purpose in you saying that? You know, he had no other reason to say that other than to cause chaos, because that literally added nothing to either of their lives. Now Heesun, like, she's down, she's overthinking the situation because Seung-il did nothing to explain how it actually played out. So in her mind, she's like, you would actually have to care a lot about a person to want to share a bed with them. So in her mind, she feels like Subin isn't being as open about how he truly feels about her and how he feels about Minji. She's getting in her head. She goes into the girls' room by herself. She's laying down, she's all mopey, when you hear a knock on the door and you see Seung-in standing outside, and he's like, Heesun, can we chat? He walks in, he automatically reads that her vibes are off, right? So he's talking to her, he's like, what, like, what's wrong? She's like, oh, I think the weather's just affecting me. And as the conversation goes on, he's like, so you and Subin, like, y'all are a done deal, right? And she's like, I don't think so, like, I'm not too sure. And he's like, girl, all the dudes assume that y'all together, like, y'all are paired off to us. And she's like, I don't think so. She's like, I don't know, I don't think he's sure about how he feels, and I'm unsure, and all this other stuff. And Seung-in is like, he's unsure about how he feels? No, that man likes you. He's like, no, if there's one thing I know, Subin likes you. And she's just doubting everything. She's like, I'm not too sure, I don't really think so, I don't think he's confident in his choice in me, all this other stuff. Like, she just, everything is starting to get to her. Like, that conversation with Seung-il, like, really got in her mind, right? Because in her mind, it's probably like a repeat of what was going on with Mina, because she already didn't feel like she was the first choice. So to go back to a situation like that probably made her feel, like, really down. One thing I can say about Seung-in is that he seemed like such a good friend. Like, no matter what, anytime somebody on the island was going through something and they opened up to him, he sat there, he listened, and then he would validate their feelings and validate their emotions, and he would always try to uplift them. And I'm like, that's a trait in him that I can really admire and appreciate, because it really doesn't take much to be kind to people. So the conversation continues and he's like, girl, I don't know what you got going on, but he definitely likes you. You have nothing to worry about. And she's just like, I don't, he's like, I'm just not sure. And she starts tearing up. He immediately stands up. He grabs her some tissues. He gives it to her. And he's like, son, you're literally a genius. You are the jewel of CMU. So he's basically like trying to make her feel better about herself, like telling her she has no reason to doubt someone liking her because she is worthy of being liked. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, like that was just, I really appreciated that interaction. Like that genuinely made me like him more as a person. Yo, this next conversation actually made me laugh a little bit because you just cut to Seung-min and Hyun-woo in the photo room and they're just sitting there talking about how irritated they are at I-geon, giving major the enemy of my enemy is my friend type energy. And it's actually hilarious because the two of them, they have never gotten along that we've seen, but they're sitting there so casually like, oh, I'm just so irritated that I-geon came in and he's butting his head into taking Go-eun and all this other stuff. Like they're salty as hell that she's at paradise with him. I feel like he stole her from us. Like I feel like he stole her from me. Sungmin's like, no, you stole her from me first. They're bonding over how bitter they are, and I was like, you can't make something like this up. But the funniest thing production did was right after that segment, you cut to Go-eun and I-geon at their date, right? Now, at first, I thought the date was going great. I was like, oh, he's doing his thing. They look like they're matching well. They're sitting there, they're chowing down on some seafood, having a great, jolly old time, right? He's asking her, he's like, hey, did this date change your feelings about anything? She was like, yeah, it did. And she's like, I feel like if we would have had our date like one-on-one the first time, things would have been very, very different. He was sitting there, he was nodding, he was like, yeah, I definitely agree. Then it cuts to their date, and let me tell you, because with the way they showed it to us, like the paradise date, it was split up. Like he had a date with Go-eun, then he had a date with I-geon, right? But what threw me was when they showed that they literally had the three of them sitting in that hotel room talking like with each other. Like he's like, oh, both of you are very pretty, both of you are great, like I appreciate both. I was like, ew, like who would want to go on a three-way date? No wonder she wasn't feeling him the first time, right? But it continues, they're kikiing. All of a sudden, this man, he sits back and he goes, Hyun is so cute. Go-eun, she's like, cute, like what's so cute about her? And she's sitting there and she's like, oh, I'm starting to get jealous. This man dismissed everything she said and he goes, Hyun is just so cute. And I'm like, huh? So Go-eun, her vibe starts switching. We get like a little snippet. It cuts to her confessional and she's basically like, yo, I understand that he's close to Hyun, but I don't feel like it's good to constantly be bringing her up during our date and you're calling her cute. So then it cuts to like the entirety of their day together when they're in the hotel room. I love her. I love Hyun. Like I just really, really appreciate her. Cuts to them in another area in the hotel room. You know, I just really like her. Like she's just so cute, innocent, and pure. Like throughout the whole day, he's just constantly like, love Hyun, miss Hyun. Love her. She's so cute. Hyun is this. Hyun. I'm like, bro, if you love Hyun that much, why don't you take her on the date? Like, I'm very much confused right now. Like, I'm with Go-eun on this one. What do you got going on? And I'm like, my brain is like this. You are way too old to not understand what you're doing. And you are way too old to not be able to read the room. Like, your emotional intelligence is lacking. Why can't you gauge that your date doesn't like you mentioning this other girl? She gets a little snippy with him and he's basically like, oh, you know, I'm just so out of it today. Like I'm just so out of it. Why are you out of it? Why are you tired? And he was like, I did a lot today. He was like, I was exercising, I competed in a challenge, I swam with you, all this other stuff. And then Go-eun's mind, she's like, oh, so your day like really just consisted of me. And like a switch went off in her head. Like she completely dismissed the Hyun thing. So I guess his emotional intelligence isn't that bad, and that's why he confuses me throughout the rest of this episode, right? Okay, so I got on him too fast. My rambling from my previous rambling is about what happens later on in this episode, so just stick a pin in what I said. So anyways, he did pick up this time that she was feeling some type of way, and that's why he was like, oh, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, the third. And their date wraps up there. So he semi saved himself in that moment, right? After that, we cut to their flight, and it's such a short little scene, but it was very much cute. Like, she's buckling her seatbelt, she whispers in his ear, hey, if we were to get in an accident, would you save me? And he was like, of course, I die trying. Then after that, she's just staring at him. Like, you could tell she's very, very, very much attracted to him. Like, as he's sitting there, he's gazing out the window, her eyes are just locked. She's looking. He glances at her and they smile. Then it cuts to another scene, and like she's going like this, like fanning his face, and they're smiling. So the body language is very much giving, we like each other, we're attracted to each other. I think this is the direction I'm gonna go into. And visually, you can't lie, the two of them, they just look really, really good together, and I feel like that's why a lot of people are biased towards the two of them in general. But yo, I-geon fumbles bad. It don't make no sense, right? So they touch down, they're back at Inferno, he's holding her bags, like she's like frolicking or whatever, she's happy, great vibes, right? They walk into the cafeteria, they're greeting everyone, he's walking with Go-eun like right next to him. Hana, I missed you. And going, like, she's just like, like the minute he said that, like, you're like, Hyun and I-geon, like, they do like a little handshake. She was like, oh, I was so lonely, I was so tired by myself. They sit down, Go-eun's like, yeah, he wouldn't stop talking about you, he missed you a lot. Like, and you could tell she's saying it playfully, but she's also highly irritated. So even Hyun, she's like, you were at paradise, why are you worried about what I got going on? Which I agree with. There's an aspect of it where I do firmly believe that he views Hyun as a sister, but then there's just the tiniest part of me that's like, no, he's semi-attracted to her, but she's too young for him, so he sisters owned her. He is so overly attached to Han, like it's hilarious. Every time I saw him and Han together, I'm like, you gotta be joking. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We're gonna continue with what I was saying already, right? So they sit down, and once Seung-min and Hyun-woo pick up on the fact that Go-eun is irritated, the two of them, they light up, they're smiling, they're giggling, they're like, oh, he's fumbling. They're picking up on it and they're loving it, right? Then Jae-jin, he's like, so how was your paradise date? And then the two of them, they light up again. Oh, we ate, we slammed, we ate again. And Go-eun, she's like, oh, we ate all day, all we kept doing was eating. We ate here, we ate this, we drank a lot of this, we drank a lot of that. They're smiling, and Seung-min, his face drops, and he's just like, Right after they're done reminiscing about paradise, I kid you not, this man, he then turns, he talks across Go-eun, because Go-eun is sitting right next to him. He talks across Go-eun to Hyun, and he's like, Hyun, what'd you do yesterday? And Go-eun, she's like, what good head? Like, she's like, what's wrong with him? Like, what's wrong? And she does that thing where she like does like a smirk, and she's like, what's wrong with him? And she's like looking him up and down, and he's not picking up on it at all, like none at all. He's still talking to Hyun, like he's like, oh, this is that the third kid can, he's happy, and she's just like, They leave the cafeteria, Go-eun, she goes into the room with the girls and stuff like that, and they're basically like, girl, how was it, who are you leaning towards, all this other stuff. And Go-eun, she's being real cagey, she's like, oh, I don't know this, and I don't want to tell you guys that. Like, she's being mysterious because she doesn't want to let anyone know who her top choice is, right? But she does end up telling the girls that her favorite part of the date was the pool date, because it felt like they were in an adult relationship. One of the parts that she really remembers was when they sat like really far apart from each other in the pool, and they were just staring at each other. She's like, I felt like he was talking to me with his eyes, all this other stuff. Basically everything that we felt while watching it, she felt too while experiencing it. No duh. But yeah, it cuts to Seung-il, and he's on a date with Mina, right? And they open up by talking about how they won the opportunity to go on this date by the challenge that they did. And this retelling of this challenge actually had me rolling, like genuinely. I posted a TikTok about it, so do feel free to check that out. But Seung-il has such a dry delivery, it's too good. Everybody, they're lined up, the girls and the guys, they have to pair off with each other, and like I said before, there's more guys than there are girls. So they said if anyone draws the pink ball, they automatically have to sit the challenge out. Everybody, they turn and they look at Seung-il, and he's just like, why are you looking at me? Like, don't look at me, this is not funny, I'm not sitting this out. Then you hear the announcer get on the speaker again, and she's like, if by chance Seung-il picks up the pink ball, he then gets to draw a new one. Like, so first of all, they had to make a new rule for him because of how unlucky he's been throughout the whole challenge. That already had me, right? So then he picks up the ball, and he's like, I feel like like, this time I really did pick the best one. He's holding a blue ball, it pans over, it's Minji to the side, and she's just like, oh. She has the same reaction every time she gets paired with a weaker dude. He's like, why don't you seem happy? Like, why don't you seem happy? Whatever. It then cuts to them doing the challenge, and you know how Minji gets. She's hella intense. She goes up against Ye-jin first. You see her yank Ye-jin's hat off. It then cuts back to Seung-il explaining how everything is going, right? And he's like, oh, it was me and Minji up against Mina and Subin. And he was like, at this point, whoever won, he knew that him and Mina were gonna go on the date. So he low-key wanted to throw the challenge to let Mina be the one to win. But he was so scared of Minji that he couldn't do it, right? So he, like, him and Minji, they're like doing, like, they're playing chicken. They trying to get the hat off. And you just see Minji manhandling Mina on top of Seung-il's back. And when I tell you, that scene had me crying, like, yo, she's yanking that girl hat off her head, right? Minji, she gets it, she rips the hat off, and then all you see is Subin and Mina jerk back. They fall, and Seung-il, he just looks up and he's like, oh. It was just too comical to me. Anywho, we continue on with their date. I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I don't truly remember what they were talking about, but all I know is that at first Mina, she was sitting there and she was upset that she didn't win. He was like, is it just a competitive thing, or are you upset that you lost to Minji? She's like, no, it's just that throughout our whole time being here, you've always been the one to express interest in me, so I wanted to be the one to win and claim you in front of everyone. Like, I wanted to be the one to choose you, to reciprocate the energy, which I like. That's sweet. Like, it's fine. Like, if that's how she feel, that's how she feel. He's like, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter which one of us chose each other. Like, we're here, we're experiencing this, whatever. Y'all, I just went back to check what they were actually talking about, and I was completely wrong. So he told her to claim him in front of everyone later on tonight, and she says she can't do that. But this the same girl who claimed Seung-il at the fire pit. Like, bro, she don't like this man. I don't care. I'm not trying to be shady. I genuinely don't remember anything else that they spoke about after that. So Jae-jin, he's walking around, you know, he's doing as Jae-jins do. Hand behind his back, shades on. He's slowly patrolling, and he's looking for Joo-hyun, right? The girls, they spot him, and they're like, who are you looking for? Joo-hyun's right here. So he goes to, like, their makeup room, and he just stares at them through the window. The girls are like, what's up? Like, what's going on? He says nothing. He stares at them through the window. He's just slowly, again, doing as Jae-jins do, and he's just lurking. And then he walks away. So Han is like, go after him. Like, go see what he wants. Obviously, he came here to talk to you. So Joo-hyun, she listens to her. She gets up, and she goes to find Jae-jin, and she's like, you obviously wanted to talk to me. Why couldn't you just be brave enough to say, come for a chat? Like, why couldn't you just pull me? He's like, I can't interrupt you while you're getting ready and tell you to come chat with me. Like, why would I do that? And she's like, no, you need to be more proactive. Like, next time you see me, just say, come here. You know, she's just playing with him. She's like, you're moving around like a stray cat. Be open. Like, be proactive. Like, if you want to talk to me, just pull me for a chat. It's fine. So then they sit down and they're talking and stuff like that. And then he says the cutest thing. And once he said that, in my mind, I was like, yeah, nah, she's in good hands. He said something along the lines of like, it's not because I wanted to talk. I was there because I missed you. I said, you got me. You got me. Like, I like one-liners. I don't care. I see why you so popular amongst them girls. I get it. I see it. I understand. Cut to Go-eun and Seung-min, correct? They're sitting there. They're having their chat. Seung-min, he's like, okay, so how do you feel? The same conversation they always have when she interacts with another man. How are you feeling? Has this changed where you're leaning? All this other stuff. And she's like, it did change it a little bit. She kind of took Mina's whole thing. I have different versions of myself when I interact with each of you. I'm just trying to gauge which one I like more, right? Seung-min, he's like, I understand, like, the choice is up to you in the end. Do whatever makes you feel best. So their conversation continues. He's like, oh, so like, what are you gonna wear tonight? Like, I want to match with you, all this other stuff. As they're chatting, around the corner, you see I-geon walking, right? But I-geon is not walking by himself. He's walking with Hyun. And he goes, oh, there she is. And instead of going up to Go-eun and being like, oh, hey, how are you? Like, I don't know, communicating like a normal adult man, he looks at her, he goes, see me? And I'm just like, like, I understand what he's referencing, because I didn't mention it before, but there was an instance within the last episode where he was exercising. Go-eun walked past him with Seung-min and she didn't greet him. So I feel like this time he's like, see me, as in like, don't just ignore me this time. Like, do you see me? I'm the one walking past you with someone. Like, I don't know. That's like the vibe he gave, right? Go-eun, she looks at him and she's like, minus 500 points. And he continues walking behind. He doesn't even say nothing about her minusing the points. He's just like, whatever. He's keep keying. They keep walking, and Seung-min, and he's just like, oh, what a weird guy. Like, he's just like, what a weird dude. What gets me about I-geon is that he's very complacent, and I feel like this isn't anything that's too shocking. I feel like it's actually very, very in line with his character, because again, his introduction, he came in, he's like, I'm the one who gets pursued. Girls come to me, they confess to me. So he's not used to actually having to pursue someone. He's very attractive, so I feel like he's used to doing the bare minimum and having that be enough for girls. But with a girl like Go-eun, the bare minimum isn't gonna work for her. Maybe in the real world she likely would have been more susceptible to it. I hope I said that right. she likely would have been more susceptible to it, but to be on an island with 3 dudes who are into you, you have 2 dudes completely and utterly devoted, and then you have 1 hot man who does nothing. Like, let's be for real. Let's be so completely for real. I feel like in his mind, he's like, oh, I did more than usual, so that should be enough. We're good. But he's not realizing how the small actions that he's taking, like post paradise, is damaging all the progress that he just made. Like, it's crazy. Like, throughout the whole episode, it was just him just slowly digging a grave for himself, and I'm like, how? Why? So after his walk with Hyun, he decides to pull Go-eun for a chat, and he's basically like expressing himself. He's like, you know, since we spent the whole day together yesterday and we really hit it off, I thought it was only right to let you talk to the other guys that were still here, to let you like really get a clear mind. But as the day went by, he realized that that might have been a mistake, and that he doesn't actually like seeing her like engaging with other people. In his mind, he thought that they were on the same page, so he wouldn't really have to do too much to keep them together, because he's like, he already knows that he likes her. But I guess his lack of communication leaves her still feeling a little bit confused and a little bit conflicted. Like, they're having a chat, and the chat, it feels like it's sweet. Like, he has these small moments where he feels very compelling, and I'm just like, I can understand why Go-eun is like flip-flopping between her decision. He's attractive and he seems sweet at moments, right? When they're one-on-one, he seems like he could be very, very sweet, but then he has like these switches where I'm just like, no, you're still a red flag. Like, I was gonna say I don't know how to explain it, but I literally just explained it. Like, that's genuinely just how he makes me feel. So watching him interact with her, I feel like I'm constantly flip-flopping, because he's constantly showing like 2 different sides of himself. But anyway, Go-eun, she continues, she's like, no, I understand that, but before I make my decision tomorrow, I think I'm gonna need you to show me just a little bit more affection. Like, I need you to be more proactive in your pursuit of me so that I can make the proper decision, right? So he's like, okay, I'll be on my A game at the fire pit. Like, don't worry. I'm gonna make you understand how much I want you type beat. So they wrap the conversation up there, and we cut to the fire pit, right? Automatically failed. So as soon as they get there, right, Go-eun, she sits down. To her right and to her left, you have Hyun-woo and Seung-min. Off rip. Hyun-woo takes off his shirt and places it next to Go-eun to claim one spot, and Seung-min is literally sitting down. So I-geon, like, he's looking at her, instead of like, I don't know, saying quite literally anything to her, he dismisses their whole group or whatever. He walks to the side. He's with, who do you think? If you said Hyun, you guessed right. Yes, he's with Hyun. He's like, so where are you sitting? She's like, oh, I'm sitting over there. He then goes and he sits with Hyun. There's only 2 people in between him and Go-eun. It's I-geon and Seung-min, right? So they're doing what they do, and as they're there, like, Hyun-woo and Seung-min, they're waiting on her hand and foot. Every time she finishes food, Hyun-woo's getting up. He's restocking the plate of grilled meat. She's thirsty. Seung-min is getting up, grabbing her some beverages. I-geon, he's sitting on the side, gnawing on whatever he's gnawing on. And it's like, every time they get up and leave her, he'll then turn to her and he'll be like all mopey and like trying to be cute. Like, oh, so, you know, you're eating this and you're drinking this and you're da-da-da-da. But like, he's like pouty about it. So in her mind, she's like, oh, the action is cute, but to me, I'm like, you're doing Nathan. You're like, y'all just had a conversation about how you need to be more proactive, and you are not doing that. Then like, it pans around, we see like other people at the fire pit, and we see Seung-il and Minji. They're sitting there and they're talking. Minji's like, why do I feel like I've been so quiet? Like, I feel like my energy is down and I've been quiet. And Seung-il's like, girl, you are not quiet. Minji, she starts pouting. She starts pouting, but he was like, you have been a lot calmer. And she like lights up again. And the thing is, with the 2 of them, they give very married couple energy, if that makes sense. Like, the way they joke around with each other definitely definitely gives like they've been together for a while. So Jae-jin, he looks at the two of them, he's like, you two are hilarious. And Seung-il and Minji let out the dorkiest laugh I've ever heard. Like, they both have this like weird giggle that I'm not even about to attempt to mimic, but if you know, you know. They start cackling. She's like, I told you not to copy my laugh, and he's like, you copied my laugh. And they're just having cute interactions, and I'm like, this is why I started watching this show in the first place. Like, why couldn't y'all maintain this throughout all the episodes? Then maybe you would have stayed my favorite, you know what I mean? We continue, and we're at the point now where everyone can share their ages and their occupation because there is no more paradise, right? So it's Seung-il. He tells him that he's 28, and then he tells him that he used to be an AI developer for Google and that he's currently a trader or whatever, right? Mina hears that, her eyes, she's like, oh, I hit the jackpot, I did it, I won with this one. Da-da-da. Like, you could tell she's like, ooh, like she liked hearing what he does for work, right? Yo, Seung-il is hilarious. After he says his age, he's then looking at Mina and he's spiraling. Like, he's like, how old are you? I guess throughout the entire experience, he's been praying that Mina would be younger than him. So he gets up, he's sitting on Hyun-jae's lap, and he's like, how old are you? How old are you? And she's like, I was born. He cuts her off. Please say 99. Please say 99. And she's looking at him. She was like, 99. He gets up, he screams, he's like, let's go! And he's hella happy, and everyone starts laughing. And it's just like, he definitely brought the vibes up with that. Like, small moments like this, I kind of wish we would have seen it more throughout the show. Maybe they should add more fire pit segments so that we can see everyone interacting as a group, because I felt like that moment was just so wholesome. It's stuff like that that makes me happy as a viewer. They decide to do this truth or drink game, and it starts off real normal. Hyun-jae, he asks Jae-jin, what is one interaction you had with Joo-hyun that made your heart flutter? Jae-jin, he thinks about it. He's like, oh, there was a moment literally today where we were walking and we were holding hands and we were just existing together, and in that moment she really felt like my girlfriend, and that made my heart flutter. And I was like, oh, this is cute, you know what I mean? Cut to Mina. She asked Subin a question, and she's like, Subin, what was the moment where you decided that you were fully interested in Heesun? Now you could tell when she's asking, she's not asking because she's curious about his interest in Heesun. It's more so, when did you decide to stop liking me? I high-key picked up on that before she even gave her confessional. The minute she asked the question, I was like, girl, you don't care. Like, you just want to know when he dropped you. And you could tell as she asked that question, Seung-il, like, his face like got a little serious, and I feel like we all could sense something about you that's still affected by him. Subin answers, and he's like, oh, it was when she played the game. I'm like, played the game? Played what game, first of all? Because we done played how many games at this point, right? But I guess he was talking about the one where he had to grab the tail, but neither girls liked that response. Mina felt like it was too vague, and Heesun, you could just tell like her face was just like, because they had so many cute interactions, like they had so many cute relationship building interactions, and the one that got you was her manhandling what's her name in the pool. I would have been like, huh? Like, what? All these conversations we had, and me grabbing a tail is what did it for you. Okay. Jae-jin, he decides to ask Go-eun a question. What moment made your top choice your top choice? Something along those lines. And I feel like he asked this because at this point, she's the only person where people don't really know who she's leaning towards or how she's feeling. Like, this is their final night, and nobody knows who her top pick is, and she got 3 dudes. They're hoping that they can gain, like, some kind of hint to something based off of her answer. And she sits there, and she's pondering, and she's like, today's conversation. And they cut the episode there. I said, you know what? Like this girl is so good at dodging questions. It actually needs to be studied. Like, she's too PR trained, because that is crazy. She had a conversation with all 3 of them that day. She spoke to Hyun-woo, she spoke to Seung-min, and she spoke to I-geon, all one-on-one. So everybody's just like, that's literally anyone. My opinions on this episode, I feel like low-key, because it's towards the end, like there isn't anything that's like shocking or like, oh, I have to talk about this right now. It's mainly just a wrap up. My feelings towards I-geon is definitely back down here. It's like, he had this mist on us. He was at the pool. I was like, oh, this man, I'm like, this is a man who knows he's fine and he's utilizing it. He really misted the nation. But then, as soon as he was back in a normal light, he just shoved his foot so far up his mouth and refused to take it out. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I'm like, you're on a date with this girl, and all you're talking about is Hyun. When you're supposed to be interacting with this girl, you're interacting with Hyun. Like, it was baffling. Like, there was a part where Han is like eating and he grabs her soda and he guzzles it down, and Han is like, boy, that's mine. Like, hello? And he's like, oh, we share everything anyway, it's fine. And she's like, do you act like this with Go-eun? He's like, are you crazy? Of course not. And Go-eun starts laughing, but then I'm like, you're supposed to be pursuing Go-eun right now. Are we losing the plot? Like, the whole fire pit segment blew me, because I'm like, she literally told you her final decision. Like, it depends on this moment. Why aren't you doing anything? And he had a confessional where he was sitting there and he acknowledged that Hyun-woo and Seung-min were like waiting on her hand and foot, and he was like, I'm not sure if she wants that, but even if she did, that's not something that I can do. He was like, I want to pursue her without losing myself or not being myself. And in that aspect, I can respect it. But it's like, why is you catering to another person, you losing yourself? Why is you showing interest in another person openly and in a healthy manner, losing yourself? I don't understand it. Like, he's so caught up in this like cool, standoffish, like wolfish persona that it stunts him from being able to, I don't know, interact like a normal human being who wants to be in a relationship. Like, it just I could like, he just as the episode kept going, I'm like, you're losing me, Smalls, you're losing me. So yeah, that's that on that. Like I said before, with Seung-il and Minji, real hot and cold with them. It's like, there's moments I want to like them because I like Minji. Like, Seung-il's appeal dwindled as the episodes went on. Like, I don't dislike him as a person, I don't think he's bad as a person, but I just doubt his affection for Minji. And for that reason, that's why I like feel kind of weird about the two of them, because I'm like, you can tell it's one of those situations where she likes him more than he likes her. And if there's one thing my mom has told me, she was like, if a relationship is going to work, the man has to like the woman more than the woman likes the man. Which, as crazy as that sounds, is true. She likes him more than he likes her, and it's obvious. And for that reason, I can't really be too, oh, I love them, I want them to be together. Like, for instance, I-geon and Joo-hyun, they make sense. I feel like they like each other in equal amount, but I-geon will always do the extra to display that, like, for her, like when he was feeding her in the bed, or like just telling her that he missed her, or stuff like that. Like, he gives her words of affirmation, he gives her like physical affection, stuff like that, and that there's no doubt in my mind that he wants to be with her. Whereas with I-geon and Seung-il, I'm just like, I don't know. Like I told you, Mina and Seung-han, boy, you're not fooling me. I don't care. I don't care. They just, they don't make sense to me. Mina's another one where she's kind of hard for me to formulate a full opinion on, because there are moments where I'm like, I try to empathize with her. I try to understand the situation. Like I told you, they're on this island. They're sequestered for who knows how long. Emotions are heightened. Things get chaotic, right? So there's a part of me that understands her decisions won't always make sense. But then there's another part of me that's like, hey, actually, this woman is older than me, more mature than me, experienced more life than me, and she's acting a fool on TV, and her decisions make no sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's one or the other. It's one or the other. And I don't know. This one might be winning. This one might be winning. Just every once in a while, because when she starts making choices, or like when she starts belittling people, or like she tries to be emotionally manipulative, I'm just like, no, I can't get behind this. But then she has other moments where she just feels so human that I'm like, damn, you know. And then I also try to keep in mind that she now has millions of people who have now seen her act a fool on TV, so I know she's probably like receiving death threats, or like people are constantly insulting her and all this other stuff. So I'm trying to be mindful in my words so that I don't add on to the hate that she's already getting. But bro, like, one thing I will say, this show would have been nothing without her. But I'm gonna leave that more so towards the next episode. I know I just did like this whole rant, but anyways, I think that's it for today. Don't worry, I will be doing a final video on all the pairings, my opinions on all the couples who ended up together, all that stuff, in the next upload, which will be coming really soon. So do stay tuned for that. But before I wrap up this video, I just want to say thank you so much for getting me to 500 subs. I'm halfway to my goal, which I'm very much excited about. So Thank you. But yeah, that's gonna be all for today. So do feel free to check out my social medias linked down below. I just made a new Twitter where I live tweeted my reactions to episodes 11 and 12. So do feel free to follow me on there. Check that out. Also, I need you guys to pay attention to my community tabs because I try to reach out to you guys there. That's where I first announced my Twitter in the first place. So I do want to say a quick shout out to Leah. Girl, I seen you. I seen that you followed me. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's it. So before you go, don't forget to press that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and comment this emoji down below so I know you made it this far into the video. And without further ado, I will see you in the next one. Bye.